Hey, welcome back to another episode of Two Beers, One Movie. We're talking about Smallville. So, welcome back. Smallville. Smallville was a really brilliant, highly successful TV series back in the early 90s, all the way up to 2011. It spanned 10 seasons. It had some great points, it had some really weak points. What I loved about it is authenticity. I love that it felt like it was in the universe of the original Superman starring Christopher Reeve. Had a lot of callbacks to that, and it really felt like it was in the same universe. It gave us a great Tom Welling as Clark Kent as Superman. It gave us my favourite on-screen Lex Luthor. It also gave us some new characters such as Chloe Sullivan, Lionel Luthor. It gave us great characters also like, Lois Lane, she's not a new character, but she was fantastic. Ma and Pa Kent, obviously. Ma Kent originally played Lana. So it really had a lot going for it. Pete Ross was great too. What I really liked about it was a lot of the foreshadowing. Different in each episode, you'd always have something that would show that where would he get to, where would Clark get to when his destiny was fulfilled, and that was really good. It was great that they'd show where he was learning his abilities. For the first few seasons, he'd gather new abilities and how he'd use them against the freak of the week. And as time progressed, that was absolutely fantastic, but the freaks of the week became more tedious, where he was picking them off too easy, really. And I can understand why they brought in villains from from the comic books, like Brainiac, like Doomsday. I had a really mixed feeling about that, where he was defeating his adversaries before he became Superman. I understand why they'd done it. The Freaks of the Weeks were getting a bit too much. Brainiac was amazing, a great character. So it was pros and cons with defeating his villains before he became Superman. As I mentioned, my favourite character, my favourite on-screen Lex, is in Smallville. You see his journey from being a child all the way up to being that iconic villain. It was a big void left when he finally did leave the show. It was great to see him back on the final episode of the finale. It was great to see that he wanted to be a good person. He wanted to be better than his father. Lionel is an amazing character. Maybe Clark, if he'd opened up to who he was, that maybe Lex would have went down a different route. He mentioned something like this in season 7 before he left the great showdown with Clark in the fortress, and maybe he would have been a better person had Clark opened up to him. We never know, but it gave us that great character. And it's my favourite on-screen Lex Luthor. Chloe was fantastic. You felt like she was going to be a Lois Lane type character before Lois Lane obviously came in. Lois, played by Erica, was brilliant as well. She was quick-witted, feisty, sharp. Her chemistry with Tom Welling was absolutely fantastic. I thought Tom was great as a Clark, as a Superman, as Kal-El. He struggled with his inner self, his human self, who he was supposed to become. It did become a bit tedious, where I think around season 5, where he is still kind of fighting who he is with Jor-El. It became a bit tedious. The whole high school thing was prolonged. The whole Lana thing, this has nothing to do with the actress, it's more to do with the writing. I think it faded away after season 3. Sort of the high school thing and the whole romance with with Lex was absolutely ridiculous. That she got superpowers was ridiculous. When they brought her back, it felt like it felt like that character was holding Clark back from becoming who he was becoming. And I understand, like, she's supposed to be a hurdle for him to get to the next period in time of his life, of his journey, but it felt prolonged, too prolonged, 3 seasons prolonged. The Teague storyline just felt like a giant big filler in 1 season. It was pointless. But they had a lot of great things about it, a lot of great foreshadowing there, a lot of great episodes like Onyx, like Homecoming, obviously the pilot. There is a lot of great episodes. The final episodes of season 7 with Lex and Clark. When Clark goes to Metropolis with the red kryptonite. All of these. The episode with Christopher Reeve comes back as Professor Swan. Lexmas was a great episode too. There's a lot of great episodes in there, and I always felt if Smallville was 6-7 seasons, 12, maybe 10 episodes per season, we would have got a lot of dollar for our book. We would have got a lot more out of Smallville, and I think Smallville would have progressed from a good series to an absolutely great one, where each season and even each episode had something amazing. So if they were all put together into shorter seasons, it just really would have enhanced the experience and made it absolutely amazing. Where spreading it out, fighting the freaks of the weeks, some pointless storylines just getting in the way, almost ruining some characters, characters leaving voids, like Ma and Pa, like Pete Ross, like obviously Lex. Although Tess Mercer is a great character, comes in, tries to fill the void. I get what they try to do with Green Arrow too, and Oliver Queen with the whole knockoff Bruce Wayne Batman. Some great things, some amazing things, some things that really dragged it down. My biggest gripes are the Lana Clark relationship went up way too long, the Lana Lex relationship, the vampires, the Teague storyline was just absolutely ridiculous. Lana getting superpowers, the prolonging of the seasons. The Freaks of the Weeks became tedious after a while too. If they were all kind of written in a different way, we had the base of a great series, the great Lex, the great Superman, Mom, Pa, Kent, Chloe, Lionel. We got Justice League, we got the Legion. At some parts of season 8 and season 9 and 10 were all just amazing. Doomsday was, it was okay. The storyline wasn't terrible. Brainiac was amazing. Brainiac was fantastic. And it really had a charm all the way through. Even when they tried to bring the roots back to Smallville when he moves to Metropolis. They tried to keep it rooted there. And it felt like a tug of war between Metropolis and Smallville an awful lot. But man, I loved the season. I loved the series. It just, and watching it recently again, it brought me back to a lot of nostalgia. I would have loved to see a movie with Tom Welling Superman and Michael Rosenbaum. I think I pronounced that correctly. His Lex Luthor. He would have been phenomenal. But it will never happen, unfortunately. And I really, really would have loved to see that. And obviously Erica's Lois Lane. It paved the way for a lot of superhero series now in terms of a universe. Obviously it's not the first superhero TV series, but I think Smallville played a little part in what we have now with Green Arrow and Flash and Supergirl. I think it plays a part in all that. So I really like Smallville. It's a 7 out of 10. It's a 3.5 beers out of 5. There's only a little bit left than that. It could have been great. It could have been one of the greatest series ever. But c'est la vie. So please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next episode, guys.